I am here with Stevie Ray, one half of the legendary tag team Harlem Heat. You can see him a little bit of everywhere. He's got a podcast. Of course, he will have a presence at WrestleMania weekend. Stevie, how you doing?
Good.
So what's your WrestleMania weekend looking like?
Well, as of right now, I will be signing Friday. I don't know exactly what time I'm going to be signing, but I'm probably going to put in a longer day on Friday because Saturday I'm going to go around the whole WrestleMania and get little small interviews with some of the talent that's going to be assembling there. So that'll be what I'll be doing all day Saturday. I'll be signing all day Friday, and that's pretty much my whole weekend.
I'm really intrigued with your transition into media. I've enjoyed your podcast that you've done recently. What motivated you to get into that?
Well, like I've explained on a few of the shows, and a lot of people don't know this, that's actually what I went to school for. So this kind of like came back around. So it was just one of those things, and transitioning, from just commentary and analyst on WCW Thunder. It's something that I had been doing in my younger days a whole lot. That's what I was kind of into, but I kind of grew out of it, but never knowing that it'll all come back around, kind of crazy like that.
We've seen media change a lot just in the last few years. How has it changed since you went to school for it?
Well, in all actuality, I want to be a DJ. Back in the day, and do the weather and do the news and hey there, guys, this kind of stuff. That was, you had my DJ voice, the whole thing, So, when you're around that a lot, you pick up on things you're not even knowing that you're picking up on. So even when I'm watching the, sports media today, regular news today, this, that, and the other, through the years, you're picking up on stuff that you used to be into, and you don't even know it, And your mind is gravitating to this stuff, and it's feeding off of it. And you see the transitions of how things are changing. But at the end of the day, hey, it's still media. It is what it is. Social media has really put things in a perspective as to you got to be really aware of so much of that. That area where social media has really changed a lot of things and made people kind of closer to each other and to put out just a lot of bull crap, stuff like this. So the media is one thing when you're looking at it on television, and I don't really believe in any kind of media that I see on television. Everything to me today is all theater.
Trying to gain a reaction, essentially.
Yeah, just to curb your thought patterns in some way, shape, or form. And that's why I always put it in the context, and I tell people this religiously. Everything you see today is professional wrestling 101.
Yeah.
From politics on down. It's professional wrestling 101. And another thing I've always advocated that everything you see in pop culture or in any kind of entertainment today has taken a little bit in what we call it back in where I grew up, somebody biting off what you do. Take a bite off it. You know what I'm saying? And implement it into what they do. Everything has taken from professional wrestling. Everything.
Do you ever see stuff like that and you like almost predict what's going to happen there? Like, yeah, I've seen that angle play out before.
If you've been around the business long enough, so it's almost like professional wrestling was always the reality show without being a reality show type soap opera thing. Now everything in life and pop culture is that in one way, shape, or form. And it's just amazing to me. I just look at things like that. That's just me, though.
We talk about media and podcasting, and obviously you had a broadcast career in WCW. Your brother Booker had been involved in that in recent years since he became less active in the ring. When that first happened, did he bend your ear or try to get any insight on that?
No, because we used to me and my brother, that is stuff we used to joke about with each other. You know, we would be in the hotel room or riding from town to town, and one of the things that we used to do to amuse each other is imitate different commentators that we hear.
Which ones would get the best
whoever.
play?
It didn't matter. It didn't matter. Whoever. Gordon Soley, Gene Oakland, whoever. You know what I'm saying? And not just and people that we see on television, on ESPN or some of the other shows, or somebody doing a football game. And we would just, kind of make each other laugh about who can do a joke, and we'll put our own words in it, but trying to use someone else's voice. So that was it was always a hobby of ours, even from being kids. It was always a hobby. That's something that we never know. You know what I'm saying? It will come around like it did years and years later, but we kind of got practice on it by practicing with each other and, amusing each other.
You and your brother are obviously a part of the legendary tag team Harlem Heat, but you all came from Houston. When you all were pitched Harlem Heat, was any part of you like, why not Houston?
No. Actually, we pitched it.
Oh, really?
Yes.
So how'd that go down, and how was it?
Actually, we pitched it. Well. They wanted to. I remember somebody wanted to call us Chicago Heat, and I think it might have been Dusty Rhodes, and a few other names came up, but we was like, no, we like Harlem Heat.
Was that maybe to play off the Road Warriors being billed from Chicago?
I have no unearthly idea, and really, those kind of things I never gave credence to, but. Me and my brother's pretty stern about trying to have as much control of our careers as possible, and that was one of the things we all, I can't remember how. Well, it was coming up with names for us. Me and my brother, we was always pitched from 110th Street in Harlem, so we was like, no, we like Harlem Heat, and I guess they seen we was kind of stern on that, and they was like, okay, we'll go with Harlem Heat then. That's how it pretty much happened.
That ended up working out pretty well, didn't it?
Oh, yeah. I mean, if we discuss something amongst each other and we come to a conclusion on it, it's pretty much that's what's in our crow right now.
What's your relationship like with WWE? You haven't wrestled there, but you did appear in a video game a couple of years back. How does that work for you? Do they ever contact you to hit you up for a project or anything?
I've been in a couple of things. I've been in a couple of video games up there, and a few through the years, actually. And they even doing new merchandise on me and things of that nature. But what your question was, have they contacted me to do what again?
I mean, they've contacted you to do some projects and stuff, but what's your relationship like with them, and how does that process work when they do want to do something? I mean,
I'm under a Legends contract, and when you're under a Legends contract, you're pretty much obligated to whatever they come up with and ask you, things like that, appearance here and there every blue moon, and that's basically about it, but my relationship, pretty cool, I guess.
Now, I know that you haven't worked in the ring as much recently, a couple times here and there over the past couple of years. What does it take to get you back into the ring at this point?
Who it is. Where it is, things of that nature. If it's somebody I like, or I got a good relationship with and I want to try to help them out, I'll do it, things like that. And that's basically it, because I'm so busy, man. I really don't have time to, stress myself out like that. I mean, the last thing I do in life these days is stress myself out. So.
Yeah, even when I see you on your podcast and you're talking about something that could be perceived as negative, you remain really calm and you're really cool and collected about it. How does that demeanor work for you? It doesn't seem like a lot gets you riled up.
What gets me riled up is stupidity. You want to see Stevie Ray get pissed off about something? Stupid people saying stupid things about things they don't know anything about. That's me. And other than that, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I kind of live my life the way I want to live my life, and most people that knows me knows that. And because I pretty much want to be a happy person. And every day I get up, I want to be better than the day I was the day before. So that is what I strive to go out of my way to do. And I'm not going to let anybody or anyone get in front of that and derail it. I demand to be a happy person because the world we live in today doesn't want to be saved. But I'm going to try to do as much as I can to set an example. I think that's all we can do nowadays because at the rate things are going, does the world really want to be saved?
That's a good point.
So we got to exist in it the way we got to exist in it and try to be as happy as we possibly can. If not, we will go crazy thinking about all the crazy things that really go on in a crazy world because a lot of things don't make sense. And it's hard to make sense of them, man.
That's very true.
Yeah, just the other day, I had a debate with some idiot on Facebook about defending Fox News as if I give two shits about Fox News. I don't give two shits about CNN, MSNBC, any of them. Because my thing was I had posted how the news is pro wrestling 101.
Yeah.
So this guy comes on talking about, conservative views and all this. Brother, at the end of the day, a guy in the Crips or the Bloods can make the same argument that you're making.
Interesting.
At the end of the day, what is the difference? He's a part of his family and his beliefs. So, I'm not for the Crips or the Bloods. And I'm not for conservatism or liberalism. I'm an independent, registered. So, and I'm an African American. So, I know my history. And I know the history of both parties. So, being an African American, really? I mean, really? Do you really think a person in my position that really gives a damn about my people, as far as I'm concerned, and I've said this publicly here, in my town in front of I don't know how many people, if it was left up to me, being an African American, and 40 million people in this country, 40 million people has leverage when we are all on the same page. When we're all over the place, we don't have leverage. We have the control of either one party or the other. And in 150 years, what has either one of those parties done for us?
It's kind of hard to follow that one up with a question about Ahmed Johnson, let me tell you.
Well, it is what it is. It is what it is. I don't hold my tongue, bro. I mean, I'm not in the professional wrestling business where I'm under contract, and I got to hold my tongue, and I got to be politically correct and all that kind of stuff. I'm not. I own my own business. I do my own thing, and I walk my own walk. So this is how I think, and I don't apologize for it.
Hey, it's a way to be. It's a way to be, in my opinion. To kind of switch gears, there's a UFC fighter named Stevie Ray, although since his debut he started to go by Stephen Ray. Do you ever...
Wait a minute, brother. Who is this we talking about?
Yeah.
I don't know this guy. I haven't heard this. This hasn't got back to me.
Yeah, I was going to ask if it had. He's a 28-year-old from Scotland. He's lost his last couple fights, but he went 5-1 to start off his career, beat a couple of pretty big UFC veterans, and we've interviewed him a couple times, but so I'm assuming no confusion thus far. At least between you and the 5'10", 150-pound white Scottish guy.
I mean, you know what? Is that his given name?
Yeah, Stevie Ray. Although I have noticed that of late, he and the UFC have started to use Steven more than Stevie, perhaps to avoid the confusion.
Well, to be honest, I like it.
Yeah.
I actually like it. If somebody I've gone on Stephen A. Smith radio show a couple of times over the last couple of years, and I always, we've got into a couple of debates, and I always tell him, you got to remember, I'm letting you borrow my name. you know, you know, since he always thought that was pretty funny. You famous because you kind of walking in the old Stevie Ray annals there. Stevie Ray and Stephen A. I said, I get it. A lot of people out there might not get it, but I get it.
I'd mentioned earlier Ahmed Johnson when I was looking for talking points of this. I remember that he was a part of the rebooted Harlem Heat, and I know that he worked in Texas for a little while. Did you all know each other before his WWF run?
Oh yeah, we've been knowing each other for. Oh man, me and Tony been knowing each other since the '80s. We started the business together.
You still keep in touch with him?
No, I haven't. I haven't.
He was always a really intriguing guy. He came into WWE or WWF at the time, took the place by storm, and injuries seemed to derail him. I know a few years ago he revealed that he was actually a few years older than either he had said he was or WWF had said he was, and that's maybe why he was more injury prone than people expected. But he was always such an intriguing guy to me, and he came into WCW. Was that something that you and Booker helped facilitate?
No, we didn't. At the time he got his run, we were already in WCW at the time.
Well, that's what I meant. When he came over to join you all in WCW, I wondered if that was something that you all helped.
Oh yeah, that was. I thought you were asking when he went to WWE. Yeah, I helped him come into WCW. Yes, I did.
Well, I wanted to thank you for joining me. Obviously, you'll be at Wrestlecon courtesy of TitleMatchNetwork.com. Their pre-orders are available at TitleMatchWrestling.com. Other people like Ivelisse, Gangrel, Sabu, Kiera Hogan, Masada, Melissa Coates, Barbi Hayden at their tables as well. Definitely appreciate you taking the time. Would love to talk to you again sometime.